The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, May 26th, 2021, years after zero. Today's show is packed to the gills. Woo! Aaron Rodgers is back in action.
Yep.
Singing Taylor Swift alongside Miles Teller and his lady in Hawaii with Shailene Woodley, jumping off waterfalls, and it has officially been playing the guitar, singing songs, having a good time out in Hawaii, enjoying the off season a little bit with his, I believe Kaylee, I think. Kaylee Teller, who is Miles' wife, has documented a lot of this stuff. They seem like an incredibly cool group of people. They said we're here with soulmates in Hawaii. I think he's living his best life right now, and it has been announced as of this morning. He and Bryson DeChambeau will be battling against Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson July 6th, somewhere in Montana, Big Sky Country. Bleacher Report and Capital One have another match for Tom and Phil. I'm pumped.
Right.
Woo! I'm pumped about this. We are going to attempt to try to get in the area of Montana, mostly because I've heard nothing but amazing things about Montana. And in the middle of July, there's not much to talk about. So if this is going on, guess what? This might as well be the fucking Super Bowl for this show.
Yes,
Cannot wait to chat about that then, watch what's going on. By then, I would assume a lot of things have unfolded with Aaron and the Packers. How will that go? We will keep an eye out for you. That June 1 date, by the way, everybody thinks is very important, not just for Aaron, but also for Julio and some other moves. That'll be massive for us. But in July, America's birthday happens, and then it's kind of a waiting game.
Yeah.
Let's hope Ohtani throws perfect games every night and hits home runs every single night.
He might.
He just hit another one last night, by the way. Greatest baseball player of all time. But that's going to be awesome. I'm excited they got that done. Excited to see if Tom plays a little bit better this time.
Yeah.
Remember last year he was going into a new team, didn't have that much time to golf, especially with the COVID era. And he had one incredible moment from the golf course when he chipped in from like 200 out. Didn't showcase his best golf. I think he's excited to get back out there with Phil. Phil, by the way, coming off the biggest weekend of his life where he outdrove a person 20 years younger than him by 16 yards or something like that, or 50 yards, 16th hole going in to win the PGA Championship at the age of 50. I mean, Phil Mickelson's living his best life. Aaron's living his best life. DeChambeau and Brooks are having amazing. Tom, this is 4 guys having the time of their lives going out on a golf course and battling. Cannot wait to watch it. There's also a massive Game 6 tonight in the NHL playoffs, okay? Woo. Last night, Braun got a win. That game ended around 2 a.m. Shout out to Turner and everybody just saying, you know what, Braun, you're right. It isn't fair for the left coast to have to play at 4 o'clock their time so that the East Coast folks can watch it and enjoy it at a time and then go to bed. And there is an East Coast bias. LeBron, let's change that. You know, you're a guy that let's have you play 7:30 your time. Hey, everybody else can eat shit. 10:30 at night. But guess what? We're up. We're watching. We're enjoying. And I like it. It's almost like the Pac-12 games that are on late at night.
Yep.
It's almost, I would assume the NBA is potentially seeing good numbers. When I was a kid, I used to watch Lakers games at night whenever Kobe and Shaq, because it was on late night. I actually have enjoyed staying up. Now, it sucks in the morning. But watching that game last night in the fourth quarter, when they needed it, Zero Braun 30 or whatever the fuck he calls himself in the playoffs, seemed to remember, like, hey, this is the playoffs. Like, hey, I was at Mr. Loverboy and I's tequila party the same goddamn day as the first playoff game, acting as if this is a regular season. It's almost like LeBron was reminded after losing and being disinterested in game 1, which has happened numerous times before. He was reminded, like, hey, this is the playoffs. He's head-to-head with Caldwell. I want you to shoot! Okay? Anthony Davis is making shots. I mean, it feels like they potentially, were woken up and told, like, hey, this is the fucking, hey, all that other stuff we did all year, Not worth a damn. This is the only thing that matters. Let's go ahead and do this thing. And old Jenner's boyfriend, he's a great ball player, but feels like they're starting to bully him a little bit. That's going to probably be something that old AD, Braun, and them are going to go, he's a hell of a player. Chris Paul was hurt. I don't know what happened to him. He tried to bust Braun's arm. Did he hurt himself trying to take off LeBron's arm in game one? We're not sure, but I enjoyed that last night. I'm happy the Lakers are back. The Clippers are dead. And by the way, it doesn't matter what's going on in the West anyways. There's an all-star team in the East.
Yes.
Who put up 71 points in the first half of a playoff game against the Boston Celtics, who have a pretty good team. That team, it's going to be tough to beat. That team is going to make rosters realign. That team is going to make free agents do different things. That team in Brooklyn will never, from what I've been told, ever be the team of New York City. That's what I've been told, that they will never, ever be the team in New York City. The Knicks, like the reason why Madison Square Garden was the way it was and Barclays Center couldn't sell out all their tickets is because the Knicks are New York City's team. Like, this is how it is. And I said, what if the Nets win like 5 straight, 4 straight, 3 straight? Well, that doesn't matter. We'll never be it. So I think the Nets are becoming more of like a national team. Like, we're all starting to like, okay, I enjoy what they're doing now. Basketball purists and people that are sport enthusiasts and love the competition. Oh, they're buying a team they're putting together. Welcome to the NBA. We don't necessarily love it, but it's the reality. It's what you got to do. Let's hope Zion now gets recruited to another team. Okay, let's hope Zion gets recruited out to LA. You know, Anthony Davis, like, hey, I've been there, done that with New Orleans. Come on over here. We win championships and get Rolls Royces over here, okay? And maybe I didn't work at all this past offseason because I did get championship, got the money, got the Rolls Royce, and maybe it is a little bit of a slow roll. Anthony Davis had to hit a 3 late last night, buried a 3 late last night. Anthony Davis had to have a swat late last night. Anthony Davis had a swat last night. I think they're going to run into a potential ammunition problem against the Nets. I think that's going to happen. This is what's happening in the NFL, by the way. People are running into teams that have 5 wide, 4-2 40s, premier wide receivers, and you just can't you don't have enough to keep up. It feels like that's the NBA in a nutshell, and the Nets have 3 guys on their team that are just unbelievable at basketball. Well, we don't know if they'll be able to gel together, said everybody. It's like basketball, you don't really have to, right? I mean, you don't really have to gel.
Nope.
It's like a react type thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the triangle offense, everybody talks about the triangle offense being so successful, but triangle offense, if you learn it and know it, it's all reactionary. And I would assume that most basketball strategy is reactionary. Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, they're going to figure it out. Plus, they got fucking Blake Griffin, who paid $13 million to get out of Detroit to go over there. I mean, that team's a lot of fun to watch. The NBA playoffs, though, pale in comparison to the NHL playoffs.
Here we go.
Okay? The NHL playoffs, and the reason why I'm going to talk about this in the fashion I'm talking about it, because, last year, I only got like 2 weeks worth of NHL playoffs.
Real bummer.
The Pittsburgh Penguins actually got swept. So it was actually like a week and they got swept 4-0 right out of the bubble. See you later. Before the season could even start, the Penguins were sent out of the fucking bubble. Now, they were still invited to the bubble up there in Canada, which is awesome, and a show of respect for Hockey Town. And there are some teams like the Detroit Red Wings.
Right.
Was that?
I mean, you didn't have to do this.
There were some teams.
Yeah, you did.
You got a big game tonight. You don't have to worry about the Red Wings today, Pat.
I'm painting a whole picture, Evan Fox. Okay, I'm painting an entire picture so everybody can understand this. The Pittsburgh Penguins last year were invited to the bubble.
Oh yeah.
The Red Wings and other teams were not.
Nope.
Oh no.
It was a select group, and just like the NBA bubble where they added some spots in that bubble to get Zion into the bubble, and they didn't make it this year for whatever reason. We need Zion in the playoffs, by the way, at least in a play-in game. The Celtics are in the fucking playoffs, and they lost.
Whoa.
They gave up 71 points.
Whoa.
What's that?
We were just talking about the Brooklyn Nets being one of the greatest teams of all time. Okay, don't bury the Celtics
Anyway,
while you're putting up the Nets.
All right, so the bubble for the hockey, there was no way Sidney Crosby and the boys weren't going to be in that bubble. Okay, there's no way the Pittsburgh Penguins weren't going to be in that bubble. And when they get in the bubble, I'm excited. I'm pumped. Here we go. We're going to win another Stanley Cup because, I hadn't done enough research on our roster. I hadn't done enough research on the team, the style of play, mostly because COVID was around and nobody knew what the fuck we were going to get on the other side of it. We got swept. See you later. Get out. So this year, obviously following along with the Penguins. Watch first couple games, kind of keep track via social media, because out here in Indianapolis, they refuse to play any hockey games, which is a massive part of my anger with the NHL, because If I want to watch Sidney Crosby, the greatest hockey player of all time, in Indianapolis, where there isn't an NHL team, I should be very easily able to get to a game to watch this guy play. The NHL has done a terrible job. I've talked about this over, probably years at this point, but a lot more people are listening now. The NHL has done a terrible job of marketing the game. That's just something coming from Hockey Dahn, a place with a team that would get invited to any NHL tournament at any time. If the Penguins were rated too low for that bubble, they would have made that bubble big enough to fit the entire fucking league to get Sidney Crosby in there.
Oh, yeah.
The NHL would have done that to get the Penguins in there. They didn't invite the Red Wings.
All right.
Left him out.
All right.
It's because I stink.
Anyways,
Stink.
the team we have this year was a team that I thought, hey, we're going to go. There's this Tanev guy. He's got this long hair. He's fast as fuck. We need speed, actually. We're kind of getting a little bit older. We got the stud, Sidney, obviously greatest of all time, and Evgeny Malkin. We got these players that are up there. Letang has been around. Letang has his Letang moments, but Letang is a stud. Gensel, Rusty. It felt like, and old Jeff Carter, whatever the fuck his name is, he turned the puck over right at the blue line in the third period as if he was tired, they said. Well, fuck, all right, dump it in then, Jeff.
You can't have it tonight,
Jeff won us a game just a couple of nights ago. So we had a good roster. This Jari character who started out terrible and then got hot, and then now we're in the NHL playoffs. Here we go. This is when hockey gets awesome. This is when it is the best time to be a hockey fan. This is when every other sport should watch what the NHL does and go, man, every night it is electric. There's overtimes, there's high speed, there's action, there's skill, there's grace. And at this particular time, there's terrible goaltender play out of the fucking Pittsburgh Penguins and Tristan Jarry.
Yep.
Yeah.
So tonight, Game 6, Coliseum there against the Islanders. This could have been a bye-bye Coliseum. Get the fuck out of the NHL night. But instead, since our goalie forgot how to play goalie for the sport of hockey in the second overtime of a playoff game and passed it right to the Islanders, here we sit staring down potential elimination. And elimination doesn't just mean the Penguins, greatest team of all time, don't win another Stanley Cup, and that Lord Stanley, post-COVID, doesn't then get a chance to waltz down the south side of Pittsburgh, bar to bar, getting bonged and chugged all around Pittsburgh. A magical moment. Lord Stanley has come back home. We beat COVID. Here we go. That is potentially gone after tonight, okay? But also, I'm afraid that I won't watch another hockey game.
Nope.
And that means that the greatest thing in sports outside of football, okay, this is the aside from the NFL, the greatest thing in sports I will not get to enjoy past 6 games of the first round, and I just can't fathom that happening to me right now. So I'm thinking the Pens win by 7 to 8 goals tonight.
Okay.
I'm thinking Jari, definitely a fucking shutout. That guy knows what he did at the end of that game. He had to walk back into that dressing room, stare all the boys down. Hey, boys. Hey, sorry, I passed it to him there. Hey,
fucked up, boys.
Hey, boys, they fucked it up. Hey, it was a one-timer, I thought.
Next game, boys.
Hey, sorry, boys. And everybody's like, hey, fuck you, Jari. One too many times. We want Maxime Legacy to go in, our third-string goalie, consummate third-string guy who's 28 years old, but they're saying, no, put you back out there tonight. He pitches a shutout. Pens win by 8. That thing comes back to PPG, and it's Pens in 7.
Let's go.
Or I fucking riot over to the Pittsburgh Penguins facility. Big game tonight, though. Hey, let's have fun.
Huge game. Can't wait.
Here we go. Let's enjoy this thing tonight. This might be the last time this entire show talks about hockey. The Bruins might be in there. Connor will try to shoehoorn it in there.
Absolutely.
But I will obviously not pay attention to that because hockey already crashes the ratings, and it's for a team that I care about. And it's also a team that has the GOAT on it, and it still doesn't matter. And I actually have some information on it. It's going to be tough for me to talk about the fucking Avalanche, okay?
Exactly.
I don't watch the Avalanche. Not going to watch the Avalanche.
No.
All right, that's just going to happen. I love them. I love NHL playoff hockey, but if I don't have a team in there, I don't have a race and horse, or a horse in a race, I ain't going to fucking watch the race. That's just not going to happen. And especially if the Bruins go on to win anything at all, I will not watch out of spite this entire thing. Can't do it.
Probably pretty smart. I mean, I'm pulling for the Pens because I want that Bees-Pens series, and that's why it's so devastating to tell you that the Penguins are probably going to lose by 15 tonight.
Yeah,
I guess. Strictly because Jari does not know how to play goalie, and it seems as though Sidney Crosby might be a little banged up if he's skipping shifts.
That's at Boston Connor. He was skipping shifts last game, and by the way, I was the only person I think that talked about the NHL who noticed that he was skipping shifts, strictly because I am probably one of his biggest fans on earth, and as soon as he gets on, even when he isn't around the puck, like I want to watch what he's doing. I want to watch what is Sidney doing. Mostly because I feel like I can learn the game of hockey best by watching the best player and just see what he does. So it's like the away from the puck type stuff. Like I've enjoyed learning about hockey via watching Sidney Crosby. In that last game, it was like, is this guy?
What's going on?
He's not even out there.
Where is he?
And he was missing shifts. What the hell happened? Do we know anything? He might have a broken spine from carrying that fucking organization for the last 10 years.
It does stink. And, what you're leaving out here as well is, if the Penguins get bounced in round 1, it is time to move on from Pittsburgh being hockey town.
They are not hockey town anymore. Are you nervous Sid's going to leave town after this year if they lose tonight?
No.
Then you guys maybe turn into what Detroit has been for the last couple of years.
Last couple of years.
And then no one's going to be calling it hockey town anymore. It's just going to be Pittsburgh.
It will always be hockey town.
They're probably going to sell the team because they tried to do that like 20 years ago or so.
Now listen,
it ain't hockey.
We had a hell of a run, okay? We had a hell of a run with Mario Lemieux, Jaromir Jagr, Ronnie Francis, and the boys. Okay? The starter jacket with the triangle, with the penguin.
Good times.
Couldn't tell me fucking nothing, okay? I was moving cigs in that starter jacket, in that front
middle
pocket,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like that thing was. Now I will say, not me, obviously. In the Penguins, the reason why I was such a diehard Penguins fan is because got to go to Penguins games. Pittsburgh Steelers season tickets, you're never going to be able to get in there. The price is just absurd. You're never going to be able to get in there. We were able to go to Pens games and watch. I have been in the nosebleeds of the Igloo, okay, way back in the day, the one that got imploded before the PPG Paints Arena was built, which is a fine establishment, but it ain't the Igloo. I had sat in the nosebleeds and watched the boys decorate nets from front to back. It was something that I enjoyed immensely. And I do believe the city maybe did turn a little bit against the Penguins, because the Steelers continued to do their thing. And the Pirates, they stunk always. But there was a time maybe in between that particular team and then getting the first overall pick in like 3 straight drafts, which is awesome, by the way, absolutely awesome. We draft one guy who couldn't even play for a year because the fucking Russian mob had held him up. Now you know him as Evgeny Malkin. He'll score tonight. We will win. That's boosted to plus 500 on FanDuel, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, there was a time where it was dreary days, but don't ever think that it was because of the fans. No, this was because of ownership at the time. This was a Krause-type situation. Then Mario Lemieux said, hey, we ain't going anywhere. Buys into the team, rebuilds it, and we've always been there. We ain't ever going to be the Red Wings, pal. All right? That ain't ever going to happen.
Listen, hey, I'm pulling for you guys tonight. I want this show to continue to talk about hockey because I know Hockey Town is on its way back. This next 5 years is going to be the NHL run through Detroit.
Okay. Well,
we'll be waiting.
That's wrong.
We'll be waiting.
Keep talking about
the
it.
AHL, maybe. You guys weren't even invited to the tournament last year.
We didn't want to go to the COVID Cup. We only played for Stanley
What
Cup.
about this year? Huh? What about this year, Poxy?
We're loading up.
Also,
we're going to save hockey.
It doesn't matter. Okay, we're not. Listen, I understand that you have to like kind of babyface for the Red Wings right now because I kind of bury them on a regular basis, but it's true. I mean, the team stinks. We're hockey town. Okay.
Well, you're not going to be hockey town if you lose in the first round again. It'll be coming back home to Boston and it'll be hockey town.
It's never
the real hockey town. Yeah, exactly. Now you know what I'm saying.
No, that ain't happening, dude.
Listen, it's going to take more than one cup in 20 years to take that crown, pal. Okay,
Talking about you.
win.
Oh, well, we won one in 2012. We won one in 2012, so it would have been 2 in 10.
Talking about you, pal.
Yeah, 2 in 10 years? Okay, I think that warrants it.
God, I just know. I mean, the whole place is falling apart.
Good Lord.
You know what I mean? I mean, my goddamn pack here. It's just, the issue is, and I feel like I'm an eternal optimist when it comes to this Penguins team.
Sure.
Absolutely.
More than anybody else. Because I only do get a chance to really see them when they're in the playoffs.
Yeah,
So it's like,
when it matters.
hey, we're in the playoffs.
Play the hits.
We're in the dance. Here we go. We're going to win. This is what the Penguins do. Because for a large portion of my life, that is all the Pens do is fucking win. Now, if you are from hockey town. Okay?
Yeah.
Your parents probably got a chance to experience that. Back
Oh, yeah.
whenever there was no
Fucking Steve
face
Yzerman.
masks on goalies and whenever they could barely I don't even know if there was
Well, there was no salary cap, and you could just buy up every Hall of Famer in the league, put them on your team, play third line, doesn't matter. Brett Hall, one of the greatest goal scorers of all time. Yeah, you're playing third line, don't matter.
Listen, by the way, I don't mind that, okay? I don't mind people that are spending money to win, okay? I'm a big fan of that. But Pittsburgh is a hockey winning town. It wins. It is a popular sport in hockey because the Penguins win. And if it's back-to-back first-round exits when it fucking matters, I'm going to lose my marbles.
It would actually be 3 years in a row.
Oh, no!
Hey, listen, if the Pens get bounced, I mean, Maff is waiting with open arms in Vegas. Friend of the program. I mean, listen, Stoner and the boys are hot. I don't know how many times I have to say it.
Listen.
They're winning tonight.
Who? Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Wouldn't you want to celebrate the first championship in the franchise's history?
It's very interesting because we get to watch Jari do Jari stuff, and then Maff is on immediately afterwards. And it's like, oh, that guy's best friends with Sidney Crosby, grew up in the same goddamn town. That guy right there led us to a couple Stanley Cups. Now, he got run out of town, obviously, because there was a younger, better version of him in everybody's eyes. But still doing it. It is tough with those West games happening right afterward. It's late.
It's very late.
It's like you got Braun last night.
Exactly.
Now you got Marc-Andre Fleury tonight.
And
But Ty makes a great point. As soon as the Penguins get bounced, I will jump ship over to Vegas and become a huge Vegas Golden Knights fan, probably bigger than Ty.
it's fucking, hey, whoa, easy, pal. Easy, pal. Get in line. I'm still waiting for my season tickets.
Get in line.
You know?
Who bought those? All the sports books out there?
I don't know. I mean, T-Mobile Arena is rocking every week. So
All right, let's talk about rocking. There was some news that came out. By the way, let's go Pens tonight, huh?
Yeah. Come on, Pens.
It's a jersey Nick and Phil got me for my 30th birthday. I figured I'd bring it out because the season might be over.
Yeah, well,
I hope it isn't.
you better put that thing on and get in between the pipes if you don't want the season to be over.
I don't think I'd pass a lot of the tests that they are currently giving, but I could I got a good glove hand.
yeah.
And that's where the Islanders have been shooting. I think Jari bounces back. I do believe the Pens win tonight, but inevitably, I don't know if we got the...
It's okay.
I don't know if we got the team to win another Stanley Cup.
oh no,
You ain't getting by the bees.
I don't know if we got it.
Sorry.
getting a little long in the tooth.
It's not that. It's just they were so good for so long, this team, and then they lost all their toughness. You send Phil Kessel out of fucking town, all right?
What are you doing?
And listen, that guy loves hot dogs and he's tough and everything like that. But
Crazy hair.
I'm not saying he's the toughest guy of all time, but that gives you at least a little grit, you know?
He's a warrior.
And that kind of spreads throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
We get bullied out there by this Islanders, and we've been getting bullied. Now, we are the pests, but, you know, normally you want one, maybe two pests on the team, you know, and then let the big fish handle the things, and then you got the pests that are kind of stirring up the shit, you know what I mean?
Just
And
gotta
then
protect Sid.
And then, yeah, but we
We ain't got no fucking big fish.
we have all pests, okay?
yeah.
Not great, all right? So, because you have to have at least one. Gino could be our guy. And by the way, you shouldn't be asking Gino, probably top 6 hockey player of all time, if I had to guess. Top 6, top 7 hockey player of all time. I mean, I'm not going to get into the list. Just know that he's in my top 8, probably. Okay.
So you're literally saying you have a bunch of neck down, but no sharks in there.
Yeah, well, that is, I think that neckton is a mentality that PJ Fleck asks his players to have, that they're always hungry. And I'm not 100% sure if there's any sharks in there or any neckton mentality.
No.
Damn.
Gino's no tuna.
No, he ain't catfish either, though. You know what I mean? He ain't a sucker. He's
Swordfish, maybe.
No, yeah, he's fucking largemouth bass. All right.
Okay.
All right, he's
Solid
out there.
fish. Ain't winning no cups, though.
It's definitely better than an octopus up there in Detroit, though. We haven't seen that in
That's
years.
right.
I mean, when was the last time that happened? Speaking of fish, but you're right. I don't know. I don't know if we have a team to win the Stanley Cup. I mean, a lot of things are going to have to happen. Jari's going to have to be like better than he's ever been in his entire life. Every single game for every single time. It's like in hockey. If you don't know hockey that well, the goalie is playoff necessity. If your goalie gets hot, Because in the season, they take breaks. They play like a game or 2 games and they're off. And then they play. In the playoffs, if a goalie gets hot, you just send them out there. And it becomes like a household name because of how important it is. And every playoff game, not every game, there's blowouts, obviously, but 90% of NHL games are goal differential, overtime. So if your goalie is a stud, it's just like defense in the NFL. You can tell at the end of the season which defense is a Super Bowl ready defense. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I thought it was going to be the Saints defense for a long time. I actually said, hey, Saints have the offense, but they also have a defense that could go on a Super Bowl run. Now, they had a lot with Drew's injury and everything like that, and their defense could have done it. But if you watch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense towards the end of that season last year, especially during the playoff run, they were fucking unbelievable to watch. A goalie's a lot like that. If a goalie gets hot, he can win you a cup all by himself, basically. That's why Matt Murray replaced Marc-Andre Fleury, and Marc-Andre Fleury goes to Vegas as an expansion roster guy, one of the first picks, I think, because we had another goalie who had just taken over a playoff series and won a Stanley Cup. It's like, oh, we got a guy. We got Andrew Luck. See you later, Peyton. We're good. Here, let's go. Turns out that guy did have a hell of a fucking run, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But once somehow something happened, maybe it was something he ate, maybe it's something that he came across and sniffed or something. Oh. He just forgot how to use his glove. Lost that guy, just completely every game, just completely. Then he gets shipped out of town. Who knows how he's doing? Now we got this guy. He gets hot, and then something. It's a very in between the ears thing. You forget how to do stuff. It's the game of hockey.
Yeah.
Put in legacy.
I don't know if Legacy's the guy either, but he is undefeated this season.
He's got a shutout,
with
too.
a shutout. He ain't never seen a goal go in as a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
He's rolling right now.
But let's talk about something else. Madison Square Garden for the Rangers, awesome environment.
Yeah.
Coliseum for the New York Islanders, awesome environment. Madison Square Garden for the New York Knicks, incredible environment. There's been a lot of places that have been packed out that we have gotten a chance to, go back to when it felt like the world was normal. We got a chance to go back to a time before the entire world stopped. And there was a lot of questions and conversations. Will people want to go back into stadiums again? Will people want to go back into large groups again? Because it takes 20 days to start a habit. People are locked down for 10 months, 12 months, 13 months, depending upon where you lived a different amount of time, or you just stayed home, stayed to yourself. A lot more social media interactions, a lot more isolations, which led to, a lot of potential mental health issues as well. And with what we learned quickly about the spread of, germs and potential diseases and viruses, and where new handshakes and the DAP was potentially going to be gone forever, a lot of people wondered, will people still want to get back into stadiums? Will the experience of sports in front of a gladiator-like atmosphere ever return? And we're learning very quickly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it will. As soon as there was an opportunity to get into that Texas Ranger Stadium, 40,000 people, probably not even baseball fans, that was sold out immediately. Over there in Jacksonville, when UFC, that thing was packed all the way to the roof. Do whatever you want to do. Now we're getting a chance to see it in the NBA, in the biggest city, in the biggest market, in the place that was the hot spot for America for a long time. They're packed out. And now it is being reported that 30 of the 32 NFL teams have given a full systems go to full capacity stadiums this season. Yeah! Feels like we beat COVID. I'm pumped up for this. Obviously, the crowd getting pumped in via the TV, and some places having a few or a percentage of people in there. You got to do what you got to do during the time, but I think all owners in the NFL were pumped to potentially get their fans, the people that are the backbone for their organization, the people that provide everything that you possibly need, whether it's watching, which is the largest, like when somebody says, I bought a ticket, I paid your salary. It's like, nah, you didn't. Okay. My salary comes from the TV, but those motherfuckers still have to watch. The ratings still have to be there. They still have to shop from the advertisers. The backbone of every business is their fans. The fact, entertainment business, you get it, and football is entertainment, but getting their fans back into the stadiums, they couldn't wait to make that announcement. Roger Goodell said that at a press conference like 2 months ago. Hey, I think we're going to have full stadiums this fall as this thing is continuing to unfold and more is, kind of learned as we go. I think we're fucking all the way back. Very fascinating, though, in this James Palmer tweet. The 30 of the 32 NFL teams have agreed to full capacity. Tom Pelissero, I'm sorry, Tom. The only two teams that haven't are the Denver Broncos and the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, jeez.
So you're telling me, okay, the Los Angeles Rams, Los Angeles Chargers, San Francisco, which is also the Santa Clara 49ers, who got kicked out of their stadium last season, they've all said, yeah, we're good to go. Okay, we're good to go for full stadiums. The Buffalo Bills, New York's only team. People forget that that is the only team that is in New York state lines. They're good to go. The New Jersey teams, the New York Giants and Jets, they're good to go. Minnesota Vikings, they're good to go. A lot of the teams that you would expect in cities that you would expect to potentially be slower in rolling out maybe a different protocol than everywhere else, and we all saw who was doing what and who wasn't doing what. But when you start thinking about it in that fashion with what the protocols are and everything like that, the Denver Broncos makes sense. Denver is a city, I think, that is always. Indianapolis Colts, though.
That one's very interesting.
This fucking guy, all right, this mayor, all right, now, I'm sure he's not actually. I have no idea. I don't know him. But how are the Indianapolis Colts on this thing? There's going to be 137,000 people at the Indy 500 this weekend, and that's because the Indy 500 has enough space to kind of separate and everything like that. Imagine if Indianapolis had the same rules that Madison Square Garden has in New York City. I would assume they'd be able to have 200,000, 300,000 people at this Indy 500.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that the Indianapolis Colts are one of the only two teams to not come out and be able to say, we are going to have full capacity because of local governance, I would assume. We've gotten a chance to witness here firsthand. If you haven't, just know, like, a lot of my friends lost their companies that have just worked their asses off, and everywhere else it seems to not be happening. But this guy's fucking hero over here, which we do appreciate. I understand it's not an easy job. I don't think it's an easy job at all. But when you talk about 30 of 32 teams in this city being one, this city's built to host people. This city is literally designed to be hospitable, and for whatever reason, we're one of the cities that is saying, no, we can't. No, we haven't run our test yet. We'll see how this whole thing goes. But this is exciting for everybody else, at least at this point.
Yeah, fired up. I can't believe. New England. I thought Massachusetts. I didn't think the Patriots were going to be full capacity. I figured they'd be one of those 32. I have no clue why your team out here is goddamn stadium.
No, it's not my team. All right, my team is you guys. All right.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. We have abided by the protocols. We were very lucky to be able to abide with the way we had it built with walls and the spacing that we have.
Yeah.
A lot of people said this office is way too big for us. They didn't know.
I had no idea.
They didn't know.
Pandemic ready.
It was pandemic ready.
That's right.
Exactly. Able to stop the whole thing. And I understand that it is not an easy job. Okay, I understand it's not an easy job to make those decisions. But what could he possibly be waiting on that everybody else hasn't? I don't know. Is he smarter than everybody? And if that's the case, very proud.
Yeah.
We got a guy smarter than everybody right here in Indianapolis mayor. But if not, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, especially if Chicago, which I believe was much worse, they're good to go. Cincinnati's 2 hours away. It's hey, you guys are good. I don't know. It is wild. When I saw this, I was very, very surprised that the Colts were one of the teams.
I was reading the tweet from Tom Pelissero, okay? Because this is Tom Pelissero, and we all know Tom Pelissero read every part of the memo, and he is telling you why the NFL is doing what the NFL is doing. He's basically a chip and a glitch from Roger Goodell, everything he said.
Yeah, right.
I was so pumped reading the tweet. 30 of 32 teams, let's go! And then all of a sudden it says, but the Colts and the Broncos, and I'm like, of course this fucking guy. Let's get to a break.
Hey,
we're back though. They beat COVID.
They beat COVID.
Hey,
They did
it.
We did it.
Hey!
Carson's back too.
Hey! Yeah, let's talk about that right now, actually. We didn't talk about it yesterday. I have no idea how. I think it's because my excitement level for it was so high for a moment, and then I went to sleep, and then I completely forgot about the next day. It was kind of like one of those emotional dumps, when you roller coaster this entire thing. Carson Wentz is all the way back, okay? There were some people that called into question whether or not he was broken. I may or may not have been one of those people, and I was wondering why we are so content on getting Carson Wentz when, at that time, Aaron Rodgers was potentially available, and Matthew Stafford was potentially available. Right. Now, do I think Carson Wentz, if Carson can play his absolute best football like he did a few years ago, can he play as good as Matthew Stafford and hopefully one day be able to get to the point where he is Aaron Rodgers 16 years into this thing, the guy? You know what I mean? Yes, I think he can. Absolutely. But at this moment, when we were having a conversation about him potentially, being a Colt, I was like, there is other options.
Oh, yeah.
But now that Carson, by the way, Aaron, we still don't know.
Nope.
We still don't know what's going to go on. Matthew Stafford was traded for like 3 firsts or something like that to the Los Angeles Rams. So they felt the same exact way as I did. Now they might be wrong. I might be wrong. We might be wrong. But I think Matthew Stafford's going to do very well in Los Angeles. And I think a lot of people just haven't seen him play. I think they have no idea. He's about to absolutely ball out. But now, that we get Carson after all that happens. So I'm on vacation, actually, when this happens. I have to stare down the inevitability of me having to face the music here of saying what I had said because Philadelphia was tweeting, get Carson to Indy, it's the best fit. And I was just one of the only voices that was like, who says that's the best fit? Like, who? Just because he and Frank had success in the past, who says that's? I don't want to hear it. Like, I don't want to. Aaron Rodgers would be a great fucking fit too. I want to let you know, Aaron Rodgers would be a great fit if he came in here. Just like Tom was a great fit in Tampa. I don't know if that was something they were thinking, but you bring in something like that. But now after meeting Carson, in hearing why Carson thinks, and was so thankful of Frank Reich. And now I'm getting to see some footage from practice where he's spinning that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and I'm hearing conversations he's having with T.Y., and T.Y.'s telling me, like, hey, I am very excited about getting back to work. And then this footage comes of Carson Wentz, and after we had already met him, he's 6'10". He is a massive man, okay? Then there's footage of him at practice, after practice, shooting hoops, playing knockout against a guy who had 1,000 points at Virginia Commonwealth and Mo Alley Cox in front of the entire team. Carson Wentz is swagging out. Carson Wentz is fadeaway. Now, every time he faded, he missed. So, listen, Carson, fucking sit in the pocket, dude. All right? When he had good form, he knocked it, bang. Bang. Knocked it down. Wow. You could see literally when he was going to make it, when he wasn't going to make it. The team was cheering. Carson had to answer a couple times. He did as such. There's another answer. It looks like he's having a blast. There was a celebration. Andy let his teammate win because he's a good guy, obviously.
Great teammate.
Mo Alley Cox, great tight end, great basketball player. Carson Wentz seems to be beloved by everybody, and it looks like he's having the time of his life. So maybe all that conversation about him being broken, just like what Frank Reich said, was all bullshit. This guy seems to be loving football again. I assume he's loving his teammates again. And I assume that's going to bring the confidence back that he had a couple years ago when he was an MVP player. I'm so thankful that North Dakota dude is in this town. Yeah. And I did not know they had basketball hoops in North Dakota. But it seems like he's a baller. And I had since seen some high school highlights of him. That guy worked the boards. He was a big body down there. He's tough down there. And this guy's all the way back. Carson Wentz MVP, I think it's like plus 20-something.
Yeah, hell yeah. Get on it now.
Get on it now. I think he's ready to go.
He looks awesome in the blue and white, too. Those might be his colors. This really might be a whole new Carl Wentz.
Yeah, it's Carl Wentz 2.0.
Yeah.
And you know what would help him immensely, I think?
Maybe another weapon?
Julio Jones.
Yeah, is that where you're going?
There's news on the Julio Jones and, hold on, Shannon Sharp story.
Oh, really?
Okay.
So it's coming out allegedly Julio did not know he was on TV.
Oh, jeez.
So what does that mean?
Put that guy in jail.
That's what a paralegal said on the internet.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that and more on the other side. I guess there are some actual repercussions that could happen. I assume it won't, but that's a crazy thing. My mouth starts sweating when somebody calls live and I yell at them. We're live. We're live.
Yeah.
We're live.
Right away.
Because it's just like when you're mic'd up on the sideline. You have to tell, like, hey. That's like code. Code. It's like, hey, you have a mic on you? Yeah, okay. I won't bury this fucking coach then.
Yeah.
Okay, because somebody's going to hear that. I feel like he had to have known, just strictly because of that whole thing that happens in NFL locker rooms and stuff. He had to have known. Maybe this is all a big to-do to get Julio definitely out of there, and maybe a little bit more public for teams to like look into him and be like, hey, we want him if that's available. But that's a wild scene if that he didn't know there.
If it comes down to it, Indy is a one consent law, but California is a two-way. So
okay,
so you're fine legally.
So we can
Good to know.
we can set people up.
Yeah, we won't.
Legally, we are allowed to
Yes.
though.
Yeah, exactly.
When they wrote the law, they said, hey,
Indy, go right ahead.
go ahead. Can't open the stadium,
No.
but you can set somebody up to be recorded.
How
you
about if
don't.
they call from a different state? That's like very great laws.
Yeah, crossing state lines, which by the way
it's
was
federal
the original. Yeah, it is federal, but that was also the original. What's that called when they're what's it called when they ban like alcohol?
Prohibition.
Prohibition. The original prohibition on marijuana was you couldn't cross state lines with it. Then it kind of tightened down to a full ban. Yeah.
Know that.
That was the original, yeah. I've done some research on what happened. How did we get
Yeah.
here? How did we get here? Why are we here? And I think my answer is revolved around the hippies, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was Woodstock.
I think it was the hippies that kind of painted the image of what weed was, and the people who potentially have power now saw that and they were like,
Can't have everyone acting like that.
we ain't doing that hippie shit. They all got one thing in common. Yeah, they do hallucinogens. Yeah, they don't like to shower. Yeah, they grow their hair. Yeah, they smell. Yeah, they all smoke that dope. That fucking dope is what caused this entire thing.
Goddamn
Not the
right.
mushrooms or the potential acid trips or anything like that. It's the dope, and we ain't letting it anywhere.
Shut it down.
We'll ban that forever.
Get it out.
When I'm in charge, guess what? No more hippie dope.
No more dope.
No more hippie dope.
That reefer out
We're
of
gonna
here.
turn this place back to what it's supposed to be with none of this hippie, smelly dope.
Where's my moonshine?
Fucking idiots. All right. We're back in 4 minutes. This is the Pat McAfee Show. We'll take some calls. 1-833-4-McAfee. This is a beautiful Wednesday, May 26th. Did you hear everything that was being said whenever you were potentially...
Just from you.
Oh, so you did hear it. Yeah. Okay, so let's address it.
Hold on.
All right.
You can be a hater.
No,
And
Carson.
you can change.
Carson.
You can change. We can change.
No, at the moment I was at, okay, Carson. You know, with the Daily Show, the live Daily Show, you know, we can potentially get referred to as prisoners of the moment. You probably did hear me say some things. That was at a much different time.
Backtrack, Lily.
No, I'm
It's
just telling-
cool. We're here face to face. You can change. People change, all right?
You, by the way, you are much bigger than I thought you were.
Oh, yeah.
When Jalen gets drafted there, was that the beginning of it all? Was there a miscommunication? What happened between you and Doug? Because they were saying it was fractured beyond repair.
Yeah.
What happened there? Is all of that accurate? Is that all kind of getting blown out of proportion?
Yeah.
And where did